Hey, Brody, what do we got going on today on Wrestling on the Spectrum? Go for it, brother. Hit me with it. Hit me with the intro.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, AEW Full Gear. Major title changes happen at AEW Full Gear. And of course, today is Survivor Series where major scores will be settled in War Games. All that and more today on Wrestling on the Spectrum. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Oh, baby, we are feeling fantastic. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tony Patrico, and you spell that Patrico.
Oh, baby.
And broadcasting from our home studios today, St. Louis. Hey, welcome, everybody. It's after Thanksgiving, so you know what that means. Just the slightest bit of precipitation that's on the roadways, and St. Louis absolutely loses their mind. So we did not want to let St. Louis down. We here at Wrestling on the Spectrum said, the St. Louis area needs their wrestling. So that's exactly what we are going to do for you today. I am joined via satellite, which I know, listen, Vinnie Mac, The Rock, they don't like via satellite, but here on Wrestling in the Spectrum, we do. I am joined by my tag team partner, JC, and of course, the man himself, Brody, the Brain Herman. Gentlemen, happy St. Louis weather day, right? I mean, here we are.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Weather day.
Jake Cargill, there's a
love
storm coming. It's not Glacier, Tony. It's, in fact, St. Louis. I love seeing our basements, though. And, in fact, we can show off some of our special guests. So who's that? It's the Podfather himself.
Look at
and
that.
The Bish. Yes,
the Bish in the building.
Out. And then Bruce Pritchard, who's back on.
I'm telling you.
Amazing. Crazy, huh?
Christmas has come early for us wrestling fans, knowing that Bruce is back on the show. I'll be honest with you, this past episode, JBL was on the episode with Conrad, and they actually were joined by Violent J from Insane Clown Posse and Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I'll be honest with you, Brody, I knew that was coming. I knew the hands on the face was coming. They sold me on going to a JCW show. I got home. I was looking at the calendar, trying to see where they're going to be close, because I think I'm in, man. I think I'm going. I think I'm in, because the way they described it, it's not just live wrestling. It is entertainment, and wrestling just happens to be there. I think Violent J said it best. And Brody, I know you know a little bit about JCW, so I want your thoughts on this. But Violent J said it best when he said, they used to be the Juggalo Wrestling Company, and now they're juggalos running a wrestling company. And I think that makes so much sense. Brody, give me a little bit of your thoughts on Juggalo Championship Wrestling. And I know we're kind of going off base here, but Love Live Radio, baby.
I'm all for it here. The Insane Clown Posse. For people who don't know, it's a band based out of Detroit. They paint their faces, and their fans are called Juggalos. So basically, they were big on the Howard Stern show, and it's incredible because, you know, they've all of a sudden grown over the years. They haven't died out, but they are big wrestling fans. They've been in WCW, WWE. They've appeared everywhere. They have founded their own wrestling promotion, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and they have a thing every year called the Gathering of the Juggalos. No exaggeration. All of their fans come together and listen to a lot of popular musicians, Vanilla Ice, you name it, it's there. They love Insane Clown Posse. They love their wrestling. And yeah, there have been some major front office changes. Let's say
I was just gonna say, Brody, why aren't you talking about who's head of creative at JCW right now?
Oh, the Archbishop of Talent Berry himself, ladies and gentlemen, old Vinny Roo, Vince Russo.
Isn't it perfect though? JC, isn't it perfect that Vince Russo is the head of creative for Juggalo Championship Wrestling?
I was just reading a
peanut
quote.
Butter and jelly.
Just reading a quote, how Vince Russo was comparing Violent J to Vinnie Mac, Vince McMahon. I'd love to see Vinnie Mac in some of those face paint.
I would absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. Now, you know, you've got JCW, you've got GCW, you've got MLW. Locally, you've got Glory Pro and Anarchy, and you've got so much wrestling going on. We've mentioned it here before on the show, and I think it goes without saying, sometimes there is too much wrestling. And for me, what took kind of a spot on the back burner this week was AEW, and it has for the past couple of weeks. So Brody, I know you are up to date on AEW. I know there was a big premium event that just happened. Can you kind of give me, we don't need to break down every match, but give me the highlights of what happened at the most recent AEW premium live event?
Sure, AEW Full Gear, very quick. We got it was a lot of matches, 9 matches. Pac defeated Darby Allin. What was a great match? These two guys can actually wrestle. It was crisp. It was sharp. It was fantastic between these two. Pac defeated Darby Allin. Josh Alexander, the Young Bucks defeated Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express for $1 million. Of course, they didn't really get $1 million. The Young Bucks turn babyface and reunite with Kenny Omega, and it's all about friendship. Yay! And let's move on. Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa won the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship, the inaugural. Too many belts. Let's move on. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Jon Moxley in a major win for Kyle O'Reilly. He is a phenomenal wrestler in the ring. His MMA-infused style, of course, atypical Jon Moxley, no-holds-barred match.
Hey, Kyle O'Reilly, St. Louis guy. He's from the St. Louis area. Yeah, and he is one of those guys where, again, you would never know. Before I say that, you would never know that he was from the St. Louis area, but he's from, like, I think somewhere on the Illinois side, so it's not like technically St. Louis, but St. Louis area. And that dude, he comes home a lot, and he loves St. Louis, man, and he does. And anytime I hear him talking about, where he lives in hometown, he always mentions that it's the Midwest and it's got a very home feel. But that's awesome to see yet another product from the St. Louis area succeeding in such a major way on such a big stage.
Alrighty then, Ricochet won the Casino Gauntlet match to become the first AEW National Champion, another belt. And FTR has defeated Brodito to become the new AEW Tag Team Champions, rightfully back on the best tag team in all of professional wrestling, FTR. And of course, finally, Mark Briscoe won his first gold in all of AEW, singles gold. I'm so happy to see this. Mark Briscoe defeated Kyle Fletcher for the AEW TNT Championship, obviously after the passing of his brother Jay. I'm glad to see that he's finally getting an opportunity as a single and to win gold. And of course, Chris Statlander retained the AEW Women's Championship by defeating Mercedes Moné. Even though Moné has a lot of belts, the AEW Women's World Championship still includes her. And of course, the main event, Samoa Joe defeated Adam Page. And for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, we have a new champion inside a steel cage, Tony Khan. Bravo! Samoa Joe is the world champion. Swerve Strickland returned as a babyface to confront Samoa Joe, and Hook turned heel. I got to say this, Samoa Joe is the new AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Adam Page, listen, he's a great baby. He was a babyface. Listen, it wasn't working. It reminded me of a run back that Roman Reigns had in like 2015 where the fans, they just weren't really into Page. And Tony Khan made the right decision, understood when to pivot, and made the right decision here by putting the belt on one of the best, most legitimate wrestlers in all of AEW, a legitimate monster in Samoa Joe. And I'm looking forward to in 2026 when Will Ospreay can return and slay the monster of Samoa Joe in Wembley. I'm ready to see it. Let's make it happen. I'm excited to see Samoa Joe as AEW World Heavyweight Championship, AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I know it wasn't working with Adam Page. They made the pivot. They made the right move here. I'm glad to see. It wasn't a great match. I know that it wasn't a good match even. It was a rotten finish, but I'm glad to see that Samoa Joe won the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Bravo.
So it's 2025, and Samoa Joe is now the face of your company.
Yes.
Which is an interesting choice, because how old is Samoa Joe?
Samoa Joe's getting up there. He's got to be like, what is he, 47?
Like my age.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, that's an older age to put as the face of your company. But
46.
46. So here's the thing, and JC, I want your thoughts on this. Being around that age, at 46 years old, being the champion requires a lot of work. And especially as the champion in AEW. If you're the champion in WWE, you could probably skirt by being 46 years old and not taking the abuse and the amount of action that we're getting normally, when you see an AEW champion represent the title.
Yeah,
Can Samoa Joe do this? Can Samoa Joe do this?
Well, I think like many wrestlers later on, they have to adjust their style, right? Mick Foley couldn't be the bump machine that he was and losing ears every match. So I think you'll see Samoa Joe, and by being a heel, he can, get away with less is more. But that's interesting, Brody, you say that, because was it so much about Adam Page not working, or was it about Will Ospreay rising? That's an interesting theory. I could definitely see Will Ospreay coming back, but a surprise for sure. I wasn't expecting that to come out of Full Gear. And just like Eddie Kingston said at Top Guy Weekends, you can say a lot about AEW, the weekly, but the pay-per-views always deliver.
Oh,
and
always.
It seemed like a lot of moments happened at Full Gear.
Always deliver. Always. I mean, and that's why when Wrestle Dream was here and,
Right.
I was all stoked. I was like, oh, we're going to go. This is going to be great. So, things happen with the kids. And I was like, do I buy this at home? Like, am I going to spend the $30 to watch a what is this? 1996? Do I got to call Charter to get them to pipe in the pay-per-view? Like, what am I doing here? And then I bought it. Dude,
Got your money's worth.
I mean, it was awesome. What a great watch. And again, as
Right.
long as you are able to go, I know this is different than WWE. I'm not going to get the production. I'm not
Right.
going to get the, the theatrics, the Hollywood that WWE presents. As long as you're okay with that, you're going to have a damn good time watching AEW. I mean, it's
Can I ask? Listen, Tony, Brody, have you all tried? I was getting ready for Survivor Series Saturday here today. You mentioned the old school calling up the pay-per-view, right? Charter cable or something, dialing it in, or maybe even DirecTV once of a button. Here we are in a digital nirvana. How hard is it to get ESPN? I didn't know which app or which plan, and ESPN Unlimited. I know Vince McMahon even tweeted about that. Are you all? That is a clunky interface
plan. That's what I say. Just get the most expensive plan you got, because that's what's going to have it, and just have it up there. And then if you have trouble, just simulcast it from your phone onto your TV if it's even bothering you.
Oh man,
here's what drives me nuts. Here's what drives me nuts. So I get the ESPN Plus app. I sign up for it. I pay the whatever it is, $30 a month or whatever. And listen, I use it for more than just wrestling. Like, I like to watch the Mizzou basketball games that aren't on TV. And so I use it for a lot. So it's worth the price for me. But then all of a sudden, the kids are like, hey, we want to watch Disney. I open up the Disney Plus app. Now that's a different password. And then but it does say ESPN Plus, and I can control it all from the same app, but I got to use my login for that to log in for this.
Man.
And at some point, I'm just going to give up. And to be honest with you, at this point, and I know this sounds dumb, but I just wish WWE would create an app. The WWE
like a network.
Did they do that to WWE Network?
They should create their own channel, their own app where they show all their programming, maybe some original programming, have all the old pay-per-views on there, and then all their premium live events could just run right on that app. And then I know when I want to watch wrestling, I just click on wrestling, and then it shows up. They should think about doing that, right? I mean,
what would you pay for that?
Yeah, they did. And they screwed it up. They got greedy and they took the money.
They really did.
So
they really did.
Listen, let's talk WWE. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. First things first, before I even think about it, go to the YouTube chat. Even though we're at home, the YouTube chat is open. If you would like to participate, we encourage you guys to head to luinfo.com. You just click watch live. And yes, we are live. So make sure you do that. And big thanks to the sponsors of Wrestling on the Spectrum, Brown and Crouppen, online, getbc.com. So, Brody, it is officially now this is no longer called Survivor Series, right? It's Survivor Series War Games.
War Games, that's right. War Games, Survivor Series. It's a big, large cage. Looks like Hell in a Cell. It'll be 5 heels versus 5 baby faces, settling the score. It'll be tonight, November 29th, tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time in Petco Park in a baseball stadium, home of the San Diego Padres. So it's going to be a major, major event. And let's dive in. The first match we're going to preview here, La Primera, Stephanie Vacquer, the Raw Women's Champion, will defend her belt against Nikki Bella, a Hall of Famer. Of course, my prediction for this match will be Nikki Bella will put over Stephanie Vacquer like $1 million, and Stephanie Vacquer will retain the Raw Women's Championship. Nikki Bella may get a huge reaction considering she's in her hometown of San Diego, but I do believe that Stephanie Vacquer will retain, and Nikki Bella will put her over like $1 million.
Is this the match that kicks off the pay-per-view? Do we know the match order or do we not
I don't
know?
know if we know the match order yet, or a lot of times in wrestling now, it's just we're going to kick things off, and we don't want you to know the order, so come early. So,
well, if this is the match that kicks off Survivor Series War Games tonight at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus, in the Patrico household, the pay-per-view starts at 6:30. And it's not because, first thing, let me just clarify, it's not because it's a ladies match. It's not that at all. What it is I do not care. I couldn't care any less about Nikki Bella. I am sorry, but there are some, like, listen, when Trish Stratus came back, I did not care that she returned, but I went, whoa, she actually still got it. And she entertained me in some matches. Nikki Bella doesn't have it anymore. I'm being an ambassador of the WWE. Her time in the ring should be honored, should be studied, should be celebrated. But now my last taste of that terrible choice of words, my last view of Nikki Bella is this, and I don't want it to be this. This is like having, the athlete go out for one final year when you knew they should have retired. That's exactly what this is.
Well,
and
let me ask you.
I just don't care, JC. I just don't care.
I understand, and I think Brody's spot on. This is an opportunity for the veteran to put over the rising new star. Is this a time when Brie Bella comes back and they come back as heels, or maybe brings Nikki back to the face side, a la Macho Man and Elizabeth?
You have to run Nikki Bella as a heel now. Just have Nikki Bella put over your young wrestlers. Have her put over Jade. Have her put over Tiffany. Put over some other young stars. I think she's already put over Roxanne Perez. Have her be the elder statesman heel that just puts, young, elevated baby faces on the roster. If Brie Bella wants to come back, fine. They do another Bella Twins run. Okay. Right. It's not going to be main event status of the women's division because they have so much more talent. And I agree with Tony. It's not that only I don't care. It's just Nikki Bella's matches aren't that good. Like every time I watch, there's always spots where I just zone out and I'm like, is this really? I mean, we could see so much better. And it's just not being delivered here. I agree.
Too much time off. Too much time off.
Well, were they ever known for their work rate?
No.
But I would say there's probably value in the Bella Twins on a Netflix, the name recognition from the E series. I'm just saying that maybe you're not going to get the work rate. This is not going to be some Meltzer 5-star classic.
Think about this. And like you said, Jeremy, have they ever been known for their work? Not really. I mean, maybe Brie, every once in a while, she got a little bit of time to shine. But the Bella Twins were known for the twin act. They were the twins. That's what they were known for. Okay. Is there a place for somebody like the Bella Twins in the current state of WWE? I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
They're even taking people like Maxine Dupree and they're putting belts on her, and they're not going to stick with the comedy act with somebody that's holding that belt. So they're going to make it be I was a silly goose and now I'm a champion. Yes. But what I don't think that the Bella comedy act or anything like that fits in, because the closest thing we have is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, their whole tiff, but that's more serious. I think even though it's got comedy aspects, it's more serious. Thoughts?
Are they in the Hall of Fame yet?
Yes, they are. Right? Yes, they are.
Right. Again, I'll go back to the Netflix factor. With Cena retiring, they're going to win stars, and you are going to see folks like Jericho's. I predict even bringing back an Edge. You're going to see anyone who was popular in the Ruthless Aggression era. How much money are they going to pay Kane to do a run-in or something in Saudi Arabia?
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Well, it'll happen, but there's so much more. I think the match that's going to kick off Survivor Series this evening is one of the War Games matches, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's the women's War Games match.
Yes, I agree. The women's War Game match, the babyface team of Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane and Becky Lynch. First of all, right off the top, I think the baby faces are going to win. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, AJ Lee. The baby faces are going to prevail, and they're going to win in this match. Lash Legend is the most random wrestler ever in this War Games match. There's no reason that she should even be in it. I don't even know why. That's just bizarre. It's like one of those wrestlers in like Survivors, like, seriously, they're in the match? Like all these
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. Because I think she's got it. And I think she's going to be great. I think they're rushing it. But I really think that she's got the size. She's got the agility. She's got the skills. She's got a little tiny work to do on the mic. Like, I think she gets a little ahead of herself.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine. I didn't turn on the microphone the very first time and be really good at this. Still not really good at this. But as long as she works on it, I think this is the Rocky Maivia. Okay.
Let me say this. This is a throwback, Brody. And you're talking about Survivor Series history. There were some great debuts in the Survivor Series, including the Canadian Earthquake.
It's just an odd duck in the match.
Well, I'm just saying there was a lot of, and John Pollock of Post Wrestling has an excellent, literally 4-hour. He goes through every Survivor Series and talks about from the first one, this whole idea was to block Starrcade, right? You know that, Brody. And so it's fascinating. So I love a good throwback. I love last night on SmackDown that they went back to the original sort of fight for survival, team versus team. So I sort of love all the bad guys getting together, all the good guys getting together. In this case, some of the bad gals.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, AJ Lee is looking in phenomenal shape. I'm looking forward to see her and Becky Lynch going at it with each other. Obviously,
easy.
Nia Jax is a bit of a, that's a kind of the dull part of the heel group. You got the Kabuki Warriors, who are very good, with Asuka and Kairi Sane, who are just a phenomenal tag team. The Kabuki Warriors are the heel group. You got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, as Tony mentioned earlier, kind of having their little tag team sage, as to say. And of course, Rhea Ripley's the megastar, the top woman in the company, ultra babyface, super over. Of course, you have her in this match. And of course, Io Sky has a kind of a rivalry with the Kabuki Warriors. The fans love her. She's great in the ring as a babyface. So a lot of star power in the women's match.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
A lot of star power.
Hey, Brody, so you say that Lash Legend is the odd duck in this match, okay?
Agreed.
Just seems like the one that doesn't fit the most. All right, you named everybody else that's in this match. Who the hell would replace her?
Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton. You could have put Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez as the tag team instead. You could have put in Maxine Dupree. You could have put in Chelsea Green. I mean, I could just go through the gamut.
So you think all of them fit this bill better than Lash Legend here?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Again, Jeremy, I think this is kind of, we know the old school Survivor Series. We've seen those debuts, and we'll get to that stuff. We'll get to that stuff in a minute after the break here. But like, I love the fact that you're giving a grand stage. And again, remember, we talked that this is one of the four. This is one of the four.
You can hide some of the weaknesses.
Lash Legend in a week. I could praise Lash Legend for her performance next week on this show, and the odd duck all of a sudden becomes maybe a person they elevate. But as of right now, it's the name that people don't know, and it's like, okay, why is she in this match? That's why I use the term odd duck. I'm not, ripping her to shreds out of
no. Yeah. No. And we're not saying that. I just, listen, we're here to dissect these matches, and I think that's exactly what this is. And I really do think that what JC said is the real reason here, because you can debut her, or not debut her, but you can, showcase her on such a grand stage and hide her weaknesses. There are four other people there on her team that you can hide. Hey, go do your big spot. Do your thing. Oh, that gassed you? Get out for a little bit. So I think this is a great opportunity for that. But Brody, who wins the women's War Game match?
I think the baby faces, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee prevail, and they will win. The baby faces prevail in this War Games match.
What if, Jeremy, what if they now take AJ Lee and they give her the CM Punk treatment? You're never going to win the big ones. You're never going to win the big ones. And this is not a singles match, so she could easily lose and not be involved, so not look terrible in this. But I mean, listen, I'm trying to make up a scenario. Brody, I don't see a scenario where the baby faces do not win. I think it hurts all of them way more than it hurts any of the heels to lose. JC, what are your thoughts? Who wins this match tonight?
Yeah, I agree with you all. The baby faces, we're going to sow the seeds of WrestleMania. I think you're going to see those rivalries planted today. But I think we've talked enough about this match. We're talking about Lash Legends and Legends. We've got John Cena's second to last match here, guys.
Unbelievable.
Yes, we do. Yes,
unbelievable.
Yeah, John Cena is defending the Intercontinental Championship against Dominic Mysterio. I'm going to give the most boldest prediction I've ever given on the show, probably ever.
Whoa.
I think John Cena actually retains the Intercontinental Championship from Dominic Mysterio. I legitimately believe that he will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther, and I think Cena actually retains here. I really do. I think there is something that they will do with Ray's music. Ray doesn't even have to show up. The music plays, and Dom is somehow distracted. He needs something else to have venom in his veins to go after Ray with, and needs something. And I think Cena actually retains and drops the IC belt to Gunther. I think Tony was onto something on our last episode. And I don't actually think that Dominic Mysterio wins the belt in his hometown of San Diego and have the poeticness. I think Cena actually retains here.
Wow. Okay, so I agree with you. And here is my bold prediction here. I think that this is what the plan was when they initially turned Cena heel. Okay? Now hear me out. But this is where the heel turn started. When he beat Dominic Mysterio, and naturally the crowd turns on Cena. What? You took the belt from our boy? I can't believe it. Da, 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 da. And then he goes into whatever his last match is as quote unquote a heel, putting over whoever it is that he faces. Now they adjusted because what they were doing was not working. They adjusted, and here we are with this tournament. So I think it's a great opportunity for John Cena to beat Dominic Mysterio tonight. I think it'll be a great match. I think it's going to be a fantastic match.
I agree.
Shorter than we think. I'm gonna predict that shorter than we think. But I think John Cena wins the belt, maybe in a shiesty way, and then he loses it to whoever he faces in the finals at the tournament at the end or the middle of December. That's my prediction.
A contrarian, I'm going to say the whole plan was to put Dominic over, and you're going to see Cena in put people over mode as these last two matches. And I'm going to go ahead and say that Dominic wins tonight. I think Cena sees something in him. Woo. And listen, I'll just throw it on, but my predictions have not been great. So I'll leave it to
your
brain.
record's not good, man. Your record's
No, it's not.
Good.
No, it's not good. I am the Barry Horowitz of jobbing this out on predictions.
Yeah. All right, well, fellas, we're going to take a quick break here, but there is still one more match that we need to talk about when we get back. That is the main event, the men's War Games match at Survivor Series tonight, happening on ESPN Plus, 6 p.m. St. Louis time. Make sure you check it out. And again, make sure that you stick with us because we'll give you our prediction and talk some fun Survivor Series facts and trivia right after the break here on Wrestling on the Spectrum.
All right.
Fun, guys. Fun stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wrestling on the Spectrum. My name is Tony Patrico, joined by JC and the man himself, Brody, the Brain, Herman. We have already talked about Survivor Series War Game happenings tonight on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m. St. Louis time. I just wanted to say personally, if you are listening to this show live and you are on the roadways, just slow down a little bit. That's it. Just slow down a little bit. Oh, and that also brings me to this. Wrestling on the Spectrum brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222. Be safe out there, everybody. There is one match that we still need to cover from tonight's premium live event of Survivor Series War Games. Brody, walk us through the main event.
All right, don't worry. We didn't forget about the main event. It is the men's War Games match. The baby faces the current world heavyweight champion, the best in the world, CM Punk, the current WWE world heavyweight undisputed champion, the historical title held by the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes will be in this match. Roman Reigns, the original tribal chief, the OTC, and the Usos, the babyface team, against a team led by Paul Heyman. However, this dangerous alliance includes Division Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. An absolutely star-studded main event men's War Games match. However, I'm going to go for my prediction for this match, the heel group, Heyman's group, his dangerous alliance of heels will win War Games. The heels will win at the end of the night, and the baby faces will have to avenge their losses. Give me Heyman's group here to win men's War Games in the main event. The heels come out on top.
Okay. And I'll be completely honest with you. I have zero idea what will happen tonight. I think this is the one match that is up in the air. They can go so many different routes with this. Here is what I immediately thought of, though. Who is set for a return? That's what I think of. Who is set for a return? Because you've got so many massive powerhouse, big giant names in here. And we know that WWE loves to go, give them more. Give him more.
Yeah,
give him more.
Yeah. There'll be a return in this match. I don't know who, though. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, or somebody else.
Yeah, I know. And this is where I was going with this. And this is where another prediction of mine comes into play. If that happens, I hate it.
Don't need it.
Don't do it. This is already a match where you've got the AL All-Stars versus the NL All-Stars, and you're going to go, somebody call up Babe Ruth and see if we can throw him in there. No. Let this match do what it's going to do. Let it be a traditional, old school, War Games or not, Survivor Series match, and just give me a damn good match with all of these incredibly talented bajillionaires that are wrestling out there. Let them do their thing. Let them entertain me. Give me a good match, and I do not care who wins. Just give me a good match where at the end of it, I go, damn, that was a lot of fun. That's what I want.
I understand, guys, this is a great opportunity. I'm with the Brain on this one. Opportunity for the bad guys to, showcase a Braun Breaker, showcase all of these villains. What we've sort of lost and what was unique about the original Survivor Series, and we can get into some of the nostalgia because it's a very nostalgic event for me going to my cousin's house. He had the satellite in the country, the big satellite that would pick up this stuff. I know, right? We all knew the kid with the satellite. Watch some other things on there too. But I'm telling you right now, it was fun to see all of these unconventional team ups. And you're saying it right now, Tony, the super groups. And how crazy must it be to be in Cody Rhodes' wrestling boots that his dad, Dusty Rhodes, created this War Games. And you always knew Triple H was a fan because he put it on in NXT, but supposedly Vince McMahon would not let it. But it's back. I love it. I love the 2-ring. I love the visual of it all. There's some great moments from the past on it. So I find it an interesting way to freshen up Survivor Series.
I agree. And my number one thing that I think I'm excited to watch, which I love when they always do these weird pairings and these mishmash teams, is something at some point, either on the babyface team or on the heel team, there is going to be some sort of contention. So if you had to say, Brody, I'm putting all my chips on blank, who is going to be the first and what inkling of it is it going to be of the in-team fighting? Who will we see first conflict and go at each other.
Could be the baby faces, could be Roman Reigns and the Usos. I think the baby faces have
That's
more
where I think we're going.
foundation than the heels do. And I just want to say this. I'm going to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Paul Heyman is a huge factor. How great of a manager is he on the all-time manager list? I have him number 3 on my list, but Bobby Heenan's number 1 and Jim Cornette's number 2. But man, Paul Heyman is number 3 on my list. He's on my manager Mount Rushmore, and by golly, he's relevant. He's relevant. Like I know all these people in the universe and all. Paul Heyman's relevant, guys.
Here's why Paul Heyman, I think. I know what you're saying when it comes to Cornette, and I know what you're saying when it comes to Bobby the Brain. Like, listen, I get it. I understand it. And it's tough for me to even say this because I think the Brain was probably my all-time favorite wrestling personality ever. But Paul Heyman has adapted so many times. Paul Heyman, regardless of the situation he is thrown into, you could tell me that Paul Heyman was going to be the manager for Maxine Dupree, and I'd go, I think Maxine's got a shot to win the men's title. I think she does. Like, anything is possible when Paul Heyman puts his hands on it. And I think that is why he surpasses those other two names, just because of the fact that he is able to adapt and has been relevant, like you said, Brody, but for so long.
That's a great topic.
I mean, it's fantastic.
And all respect to your namesake, Bobby the Brain Heenan. To your point, who else has went and started another league and has been such a brain behind the scene, pun intended, with ECW, which some could argue that's what WWE, exactly. Jim Cornette is with Smoky Mountain and, of course, WCW. But those guys are in a triple crown all by themselves. Yes. So it's interesting. We all love Bobby the Brain, but we also all remember when he went to WCW and was just phoning it in and miserable, So depending on what you're measuring it.
Still one of my favorite WCW moments ever, though, is when Kendrick grabbed his neck. Do you guys remember that when he grabbed his neck and live on TV, the Brain, he had just had neck surgery and was like, nobody touch his neck. And all of a sudden, here he comes. Brian Kendrick comes up behind him, grabs his neck, and on live TV, on Nitro, Bobby the Brain goes, what the F are you doing?
So many great moments.
I love Bobby the Brain Heenan. He's my favorite manager of all time. His stuff with Gorilla Monsoon still puts a warm smile on my face every once in a while. And I mean, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. Triple Crown. Fun fact about Heyman and Cornette, both guys started out as photographers.
Right.
Heenan's probably one of the greatest bumping managers in history. When we talk about physical, Bobby Heenan is number 1 on the list, and Cornette's number 2. The only thing Heyman never got was the physical part. Heyman's
still looks weird.
He has the physical traits of a Captain Lou Albano, just terrible physical. I know that's who he looked up to growing up, and all the great wrestling managers of Freddie Blassie and the Grand Wizard and Wild Red Berry and Saul Weingroff and Bobby Davis and all the guys that Paul Heyman looked up to growing up. Paul Heyman, though, it's amazing, and you're right, Jeremy. He stayed around with ECW. He's been behind the scenes in WWE creatively. He has a creative mind. He really helps his wrestlers. He was talking about recently how he was talking about how Roman Reigns' tribal chief is like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. Somebody sent me that clip about Heyman. He really takes a vested interest in what he does. And I think that's why he's great as a manager. And you notice this as well. Nobody else is like Heyman as a manager on the card. It's everything in wrestling.
No,
when you're
never.
not like, you don't have a million managers. You don't have a million managers on. Like, remember back in the old days and when everybody had to have a manager and there were a million managers. Now, because there's not anybody, now there's nobody like Paul Heyman. He sticks out like a sore thumb, and every talent that is paired with him, you feel like has been elevated to main event status.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to meet him one time at San Diego Comic-Con, said pretty much the exact, hey, thanks for Heyman Hustle. And on behalf of Paul Heyman, I'll say to you two, well, thank you.
Did you meet Samoa Joe in San Diego also?
Same one, Christopher Daniels. Yeah, I tried to give a Voltron DVD, but Samoa Joe's like, I got them all.
By the way,
nice.
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego tonight. Well, it's going to be a great event. I love the Survivor Series. I've been having all the old school ones on the WWE Vault YouTube channel, which is fascinating. Again, John Pollock from Post Wrestling does a fascinating, and you forget all of them, and you see where they tried to freshen it up over the years with the single matches and bringing it in. It's been an interesting time, but I love a good Survivor Series. Well, it used to be on Thanksgiving night, as we know. That was we talked about last time.
That's perfect, Jeremy. That's perfect. That leads me directly into this. I was going to say, how many years, when it first started, like you mentioned, Survivor Series was on Thanksgiving. How many years did they do that before they switched it up?
I think at least 4 or 5, I would say.
Jeremy, do you know?
I just watched John Pollock's. I want to say it was only 2 or 3. I'll say 3.
87, 88, 89, 90.
Okay, 4.
Brain. Ding, ding.
Yep. So after 1990, they moved it to, your more traditional
Tuesday in Texas. That was in December when they did.
Oh, that's one of my favorite memories. I know we'll get into it. Of Survivor Series was the Gravest Challenge.
Yep.
Listen, Survivor. We'll talk about this, and Tony's brought it up. Why wrestling is historic on Thanksgiving. There was a point in time in this country where every wrestling territory, there'd be hundreds of thousands of people going to territorial wrestling in this country on Thanksgiving night. Now, the NFL has become this giant, juggernaut. There's a point in time where in Dallas, you went to Reunion Arena. In New Orleans, in the Mid-South territory, you went to New Orleans in the Superdome. You would go in the Tennessee territory, Jerry Lawler in Nashville, Minneapolis, St. Paul had a Thanksgiving night under Vern Gagne. Even in Greensboro and Norfolk, Crockett would run 2 separate towns on Thanksgiving night. That's how big of a night NWA it was for the NWA. Thanksgiving was a massive night, of course. It culminates in an event called Starrcade that started in 1983. It is not the first wrestling pay-per-view. That's a wrestling Mandela effect thing. It is not the first wrestling pay-per-view is Starrcade. I'll explain that on another episode at some point when Tony will probably try to stump me with that. When was the first wrestling pay-per-view? It was Primetime Wrestling in 1986. It was not Starrcade. Yeah, it's not Starrcade.
Keep going, Tony. I love this stuff.
Okay.
Listen, it gets to a point, and then, of course, in 1987, WWE comes up with Survivor Series to try to combat that Thanksgiving, tradition that they were having over there in Crockett. Because, this is the thing that people don't know, that it would really culminated in 88 because it was Flair and Sting on TBS, and Vince is like, hey, guys, listen, you want to air our stuff, you can't have it on the same time as TBS. So Clash of Champions they would have going up against WrestleMania, and that came after. But the reason that they went with TBS had a Clash of Champions go up against WrestleMania was because Vince McMahon had Survivor Series going up against Starrcade. So it's kind of how these things all culminate. It's always reactionary. That's how wrestling is. It's still like that. We talk about it, one going after the other. Let me just put WrestlePalooza randomly on the same day that AEW has a show, and then they move their show back. That's how wrestling has always been. It's always been reactionary.
It's so much fun.
It's always billionaires going, you can't do that. Yes, I can. That's what wrestling is. And that's why we love it so much, because we get to sit there as normal adults and go, these guys are fighting. I love it. And that's what it is. And that's exactly what it is. All right. So here's an easy trivia question for you. I want to go to JC on this one.
Ooh.
JC. In 2002 at Survivor Series, what debuted for the very first time ever?
Oh boy, Survivor Series synonymous with debuts.
This day, I'm not
gobbledygooker, but
I'm not even say this person. I'm going to say this debuted at Survivor Series 2002. What was it?
I'm going to pass this one to the brain.
It's Elimination Chamber is the right answer.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, the Elimination Chamber is the right answer. Yeah,
and do we know who was in that match?
That was Goldberg.
Already knows that.
No, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chris
Goldberg
Jericho.
They saved that for SummerSlam. You're right. That was Eric Bischoff's idea on Cram.
Yes. It was Bischoff when he was Raw GM, and then I think Stephanie was still SmackDown GM, or did Paul Heyman had just recently take over as SmackDown GM? Who knows? But yeah, that was kind of during that time. That was the year I was born, by the way. 2002.
Oh God! Oh God! Stop, man! You make me feel. Oh, my back
crib.
My back hurts.
Crib is shaped like an elimination chamber.
Okay, so when I say Survivor Series, I think that there is one incident that stands out. What is that incident that happened on Survivor Series?
Undertaker debuted and Gobbledygooker emerged in our presence.
No, isn't that the Montreal Screwjob?
Boom.
97?
1997's Montreal
Yes.
Screwjob.
Yeah.
That happened at Survivor Series, which
Yes.
is again, I can listen for days about people talking about the screw job. Was Bret Hart even in on it? Who was in on it? Who knew? Now, my favorite thing that I didn't even really think about it, but like there's a scenario, like there really is a scenario to where Bret Hart wins the belt, shows up Monday at Raw and goes, "Hey guys, I am not a champion. I cannot defend this. I've always said that you guys are the reasons I do this. I can't do this. I'm relinquishing the belt. I will never wrestle again here in WWF," and then goes to WCW and then kills it. But because we didn't even get that opportunity, God only knows what would have happened if
Bret couldn't have dropped the title. Bret could have never dropped the title because Cornette had told Vince something that I can't say on air, but it was a little obscene, and no way that we were ever going to have a champion drop the title to your feet on television. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just one of those things where, again, probably the most, I would say, infamous moment in wrestling, probably one of them, if not the, it happened at Survivor Series. Now, here's a question for you guys. Who has a perfect 5-0 record in their traditional Survivor Series elimination match participation? I will give you a hint. It's an older wrestler.
Oh my goodness.
He has a perfect 5-0 record in traditional Survivor Series matches.
Shawn Michaels, or we got to
older.
That.
Older.
Is it Mr. Perfect?
Older. You're in the right era.
Dino Bravo. Andre the Giant.
Andre?
Keep going.
He was in a couple ones.
DiBiase?
No.
Would it be Hogan?
Oh, you're closer, Jeremy.
Ultimate
Savage?
Warrior?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Savage, okay.
He was, and here's the fact that I love even more. Not only was his team 5-0,
wow,
but he was never ever eliminated in any of the Survivor Series matches
that
he participated in.
You know, you mentioned
Mr.
Tuesday
Survivor
in
Series,
Texas.
Baby.
I was watching the Gravest Challenge Survivor Series, and it's amazing how much of that show is just a big commercial for Tuesday in Texas. I totally forgot that was Macho Man being reinstated after getting Jake the Snake Roberts, Python biting him. Fascinating stuff on WWE Vault.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And then, you know, coming up, they've announced a new season, folks, of Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV.
Yes, this is my favorite show.
And Jason Eisner, two great guys. They can even come on the show. If Evan and Jason want to come on the show and talk about season 7 of Dark Side of the Ring, they certainly can. This will be on Vice.
Conrad, I'm begging them to do that. Begging them to come on this show.
Maybe the Podfather can pull some strings.
Yeah, because Conrad's been on there. He's been on Dark Side of the Ring in the past, and Tony's talked about the Montreal Screwjob and several other incidences that have happened. They've documented it wonderfully on Dark Side of the Ring. Phenomenal on Vice TV. They have a whole Dark Side of series. They have phenomenal reenactments. It's part of their Dark Side of series. Dark Side of the Ring, again, created by Jason Eisner and Evan Husney. New season 7 is going to be debuting this spring on Vice TV.
Here's the best thing about Dark Side of the Ring. And again, fellas, if you're listening to this, or ladies, if you're listening to this show right now or listening to the podcast, and your significant other has zero interest in wrestling, and when I mean zero, I say zero, negative interest in professional wrestling, they will love this.
Yes,
because it is true crime. It is drama. It is comedy. There are a few episodes in the 6 seasons that have come out. There are a few episodes that are for wrestling fans, right? I mean, there are very few episodes, but most of them are, hey, this guy was a professional wrestler, but he was a disaster. Let's talk about his life. And it's fantastic. It has got my lady, like, she's asked me, she's like, when's the next season coming out? And I'm like, soon, I hope. And now this is great news to hear, man. I'm so excited for another season there.
It's going to be excellent. I'm so excited. And, it's crazy because I watched Dark Side of the Ring and I watched an episode of Bruiser Bedlam, and I'm like, he burned down a police station and he's done it. Like, no, this
is crazy.
Like, you'll watch this all throughout. And you're like, did this actually, wait, it did happen.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, this actually happened in wrestling. Like Muhammad Hassan, they did an episode this past season and they actually reenacted a terrorist attack.
Insane.
And it was canceled off of TV. Like,
it was
never
insane.
I mean, it's just, no, did this actually happen in wrestling? No, it did happen, and you'll watch it on Dark Side of the Ring. There's so much good stuff when it comes to wrestling, so much great things coming down the pike. Survivor Series, John Cena's final match is coming down the pike, folks. It's going to be tonight, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be at Petco Park, the home of the San Diego Padres. War Games matches. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. I'm sure some may have trouble finding it. Just subscribe to the highest package, and it'll be on TV magically. That's it. It'll be there. I know it may be expensive for some, but you know what? It'll be there. $29.99, $39.99. Who knows what the price point even is anymore? It changes so much. I don't even know how to advertise it right. But that's how it goes. It's going to be there. It is going to be an excellent event, a tentpole event for WWE. You don't want to miss it. Just have fun with your friends. I know the snow may prevent you from doing it, but try to have some fun with your friends and family.
Brody, wrestling fans find a way to watch wrestling. It doesn't matter. Rain, sleet, snow, fire from the skies. It does not matter. Tonight, we are looking forward to Survivor Series again on ESPN Plus. Jeremy, real quick, very quickly, no need to get into it. If you had to pick your favorite Survivor Series match, do you have something that stands out for you? I know that you love Survivor Series more than anything in the world.
Well, I always nostalgic for Hulk Hogan and Macho Man teaming up against the Mega Bucks and all that stuff, like the SummerSlam stuff. But I'll just go with Zeus ambushing them in the back, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, setting up No Holds Barred. There's all kinds of stuff. But anyway, we'll have to get into that when we have more time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, for Brody the Brain Herman, for JC, we appreciate you guys. I know it was just Thanksgiving, so thank you guys for listening to Wrestling on the Spectrum. Thanks for tagging along, participating on the socials. We see you guys. We have so much planned for Wrestling on the Spectrum coming up here that we are absolutely stoked for what's coming up. Enjoy Survivor Series tonight. Make sure that you are checking us out on all of our socials, and stay tuned. Next Saturday, we'll be back here live right here on the Lou Information Station. Again, find us online, on demand, or live 24/7 at louinfo.com. See ya.